Do upper caste Marxists still dislike Dr. Ambedkar, consider him reformist, separatist? Sir, a virulent Bengali Marxists have always hated Drive Branch Ambedkar. A rather longish post, running into more than 1,000 words, while Sir observes that, to the upper caste Marxists, the towering Dalit intellectual and lifelong fighter for social justice was a stooge of the British trying to divide the proletariat and the nationalist movement at the behest of his masters. This view, he says, was also taken by Subhas Bose in the Congress and Shyamaprasad Mukherjee in the extreme rightist Hindu Mahasabha, adding, the left were also vehemently against reservation in jobs for Dalits and tribals achieved through hard struggle by Ambedkar and the other leaders of the depressed classes. In fact, Marxists saw them not as entitlements but sops and a part of the imperialist conspiracy to drive a wedge through the working class movement. Calling Brahminical left an extremely regressive force, Sir goes to say, in the name of land reform they introduced a new feudalism. And when they tried belatedly to industrialize, they were met with strong opposition from the small landholders but, more than that, a feudal mindset that is opposed to market, industry or any change. In fact, they would quote from Marx, Lenin, Gramsci, Mao, Foucault, Derrida but never from Ambedkar, who was all for industrialization, freedom and social democracy. They never cared to read Ambedkar or know what he fought for, says Sir, adding, our communists would like ciders to remain small farmers or artisans very much in keeping with their feudal Brahminical outlook, which was their love of villagism and subsistence agriculture. Interestingly, Anand Teltumd, well-known Dalit rights scholar, currently accused in the infamous Bhima Koregaon case and an under-trial prisoner, suggests that this view did exist among earlier communists who would unremittingly criticize Ambedkar. Known to be taking a Marxist view of things, Teltumd says, Ambedkar's annoyance with communists stemmed from CPI's criticism of Ambedkar by ideologically refusing the necessity of battling caste, ignoring the conceptual basis of linking other forms of exploitation and continuing with unmindful practices vis-à-vis caste. Teltumd underlines, right from his coming to prominence as the leader of the independent Dalit movement, the CPI was angry with him. Instead of befriending Ambedkar, they began attacking him as the divider of the working class, misleader of Dalit masses, opponent of the nationalist movement and a stooge of imperialists. In fact, CPI derided him as the reformist and separatist leader who kept the untouchable masses away from the general democratic movement and to foster the illusion that the lot of untouchables could be improved by reliance on imperialism, the top scholar adds. I recall in late 1970s when I was in the CPI outfit, People's Publishing House, editing manuscripts of communist scholars. One of the already published books I glanced through then was by W.N. Kuber's Drive Ambedkar, a critical study, published by PPH. While I have lost the book, I recall, Kuber was indeed critical of Ambedkar, something that Teltumd also noted in 2018. Kuber calls Ambedkar's conversion to Buddhism a self-deception, having channeled the whole movement of workers and peasants led by him into reactionary and metaphysical conceptions. A Marxist scholar, who must have been attached with CPI, Kuber, if I correctly recall, actually thought that Ambedkar did not stand for equal rights for men and women. While googling I couldn't find the exact quote. A reference to Kuber states, Kuber observes that Ambedkar was against giving the same education to both boys and girls. Imparting education to girls on par with boys appeared to him waste of time, money and energy.